My name is Vian Olivier, partner at Mazars South Africa, and I would like to welcome you to Mazars 3-Minute Spotlight, where we have express interviews with industry experts. Today we're going to have a chat to Bongiwe, our sustainability expert within Mazars South Africa. Bongiwe, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this short discussion.
Bongiwe, first of all, recently the International Financial Reporting Standards Committee brought out 2 new standards, S1 and S2 if I'm not mistaken. What does these standards entail and who are required to apply these standards as part of their financial reporting framework?
All right, thank you for that. I think it's important to note that the intention of the ISSB has been that it's climate first, but not climate only. So we don't have standards that speaks to the width of sustainability, but they want to get in and get started and get a global baseline. So this is our first opportunity as the Global South to be able to participate intrinsically in this process. And what they are hoping to get out of it is that we can make headway with climate disclosures. That means to be able to disclose, you need to know where you stand. So the measurement is important as well as all the way up to disclosure. And I think once we can see that picture, it gives us really a different deck of cards to be able to look at and prioritize from here.
Fair enough. So, I mean, from my understanding, it's mostly listed entities and public investment entities that would be required to apply this sustainability reporting as part of their reporting. But I also understand that owner-managed businesses might also require to incorporate the sustainability reporting as part of their business due to the fact that they export to jurisdictions such as Europe.
Quite correct that the mandate will sit at a listed enterprise perspective, a public enterprise. So there are opportunities of early adoption. I call them opportunities because from a global supply chain perspective, you need the consciousness to know which legislation mandated where you are exporting goods and services to. Yeah. And that will make South African business early adopt those who are exporting goods and services into the EU, as well as if you are a growing private business that requires investment and you want to take advantage of impact funds because they're cheaper, you need a strategy for ESG and you need that transparency in reporting.
I see. It sounds like Europe is years ahead of us in terms of a sustainability perspective. And if you look at first world countries such as the US, it doesn't seem they're quite there where the US is. But where do we find ourselves as South Africans from a sustainability perspective? Is this something that's front of mind for most businesses or not?
Not yet. And we are behind the curve. And what you have found is that the EU started and went very fast and very wide. So if you look at the EFRAG, it's 13 standards as opposed to 2. Yeah. The US will accelerate, even though they started a little bit later. But as far as South Africa is sitting, it's about getting in the conversation, authentically so, and making sure that our businesses have got the opportunity of leveraging the opportunities more than the compliance, so that it actually just helps us to grow and sustain what we have from an African perspective.
And how has Mazars positioned themselves from an international as well as South African point of view to be able to service client needing sustainability reporting function or assessment in terms of reporting sustainability?
One of the opportunities that we took advantage of was that we basically make the conversation inclusive. So we work globally. So from a methodology perspective, from sharing of case studies, from training of teams, we are one level. And that allows us to be able to share resources across countries, to leverage opportunities across countries, and also that the client gets the best solutions, which is the main thing here. And from internally, we put ourselves through that. As you know, from a South African perspective, as far back as 2018, that we started publishing our transparent reporting for sustainability and globally as well. So it allows us to be able to leverage as much as we can and also be able to pace ourselves differently. Some countries are more mature than others, but everyone has the ability to go on the journey.
Bongiwe, thanks so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.